All right, there we go. So I guess the only thing is you have to drive the YouTube.
Okay.
You figured out how to cast. Actually, I think I see what you did. Present to everyone. Hmm. But I guess if you're not presenting, I can click on your face, and then we're looking at a video recording, essentially of you, and then a small one in the corner.
Mm-hmm. Which is probably fine.
Yeah.
I think this takes up a lot of bandwidth, so there might be delays.
Yeah. Your response is pretty quick. Oh, but maybe there's delays on YouTube or something.
Yeah. When I'm playing the YouTube video, we'll see.
Yeah.
Shall I play?
Sure.
Today, Lopez was unrepentant.
Que todo fue colonizado, tiene derecho a luchar por su independencia, usando todos los medios a su alcance, incluyendo la fuerza.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials announced that arrests of undocumented immigrants are up 38% this year from the same time period in 2016. In the 100 days...
Okay, so that's significant to me. Is that significant to you at all?
Well, I didn't know who that guy was. Who's the...
Oh, I'm talking about the immigration arrest increases.
Right. So how many more did they say? Just reach.
I said 38%.
Arrests, and so this is immigration officials arresting who they think are illegal immigrants within the United States. Is that right?
Right. So
they're going around.
They stop them for jaywalking, and then say, "Oh, you don't have proper identification. We're going to arrest you."
Right. Or they're hunting them. They've got leads on persons, and they know where they are, and they're going to find them.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what it looks like in this.
So
just the still that you have there.
I haven't heard of any policy changes that change this. As far as I understand, it's only because of increased rhetoric.
Well, he also has the executive order. It was basically a mandate to do more of these arrests, wasn't it? So
I must have missed that, but it's also significant to me because Obama cracked down on illegal immigration a lot compared to his predecessors. So to say that this is a contrasting position is weird.
Right. To say what were they saying, that it was contrasting Obama, or was he just?
I'm just saying it's up 38%. Yeah, but when Obama was in office, he made it go up 38% too. But for some reason, that's relatively unknown.
Right. So 38% increase over the same period last year. They reflect his commitment. Okay, so yeah, so he had an executive order called Enhancing Public Safety in the Interior of the United States, and let's just see section. Essentially, so the purpose is to get basically illegal immigrants out of the United States, I suppose. What does it say here? So the purpose of this order is to direct executive departments and agencies to employ all lawful means to enforce the immigration laws of the United States. So yeah, so it's in other words, it's just him encouraging them to go after them. And then the policy, there's a bunch of different. Okay, so enforcement of the immigration laws in the interior of the United States. In furtherance of the policy described in Section 2 of this order, I hereby direct agencies to employ all lawful means to ensure the faithful execution of the immigration laws. And prioritize for removal those aliens described by Congress in all these sections. And then remove, as well as removable aliens who have been convicted of criminal offenses, charged with criminal offenses where the charge has not been resolved, or have committed acts that constitute a chargeable criminal offense. So, illegal immigrants that are criminals or are charged with criminal acts or have abused public benefits programs, he's saying to prioritize, as well as whoever security people are describing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Well, should we watch more of the video?
Yeah. I just want to make a note. Yeah, make a note of that.
Since President Trump signed his executive order on immigration enforcement, the agency has arrested more than 41,000 people. Non-criminal arrests of undocumented immigrants increased from approximately 4,200 to more than 10,800. The Department of Justice announced this evening that it's appointing a special counsel to oversee the investigation into President Trump's ties to Russia. Former FBI Director Robert Mueller. Mueller was FBI Director when James Comey was Deputy Attorney General. Comey then took over the director job from Mueller. As special counsel, Mueller will report to current Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. In his letter appointing Mueller, Rosenstein said, quote, "My decision is not a finding that crimes have been committed or that any prosecution is warranted."
I didn't even understand what they were saying there. So Mueller used to be the director, and then he was out after the election, I'm guessing, and then Comey was in, and now Comey's fired, and now the new guy is, I didn't catch his name.
No, Comey was actually appointed under Bush.
Oh, so he was there. Okay, well, fair enough then. And then
Obama kept him, and then Trump
kept him and then fired him.
Yeah.
And then
Mueller was right before Comey, I think.
Right, and then the new guy's name is.
There is no new guy yet. Rosenstein.
But the deputy.
Rosenstein is the Deputy Attorney General.
Yeah.
The Attorney General is Jeff Sessions, who, if we ever get around to, I would want to rant about, but
yeah.
The third day of scandal at the White House. The revelation that President Trump may have asked James Comey to halt his investigation is taking its toll down the street on Capitol Hill.
Damn, it's hot here. You guys got to get the AC cranked.
House Speaker Paul Ryan acknowledged that the chatter about Trump, Comey, and Flynn is starting to take up all the air in the room.
People in America turn on the TV and they think this is all that's happening. This is all we're doing and all we're discussing. That's just not the case. I want the American people to know that we're busy, hard at work, fixing their problems.
Oh my gosh. I mean, this is going to be so hard not to be an opinion piece when watching the news, because I just want to punch him in the face because oh my gosh, they're doing everything nobody wants. Literally, like every bill they're passing, they're trying to pass is not what the popularity, what it would want if it were to be democratically voted on. So, anyways.
So like the healthcare, like the new budget, cutting $800 million or however many million or billion out of the Medicare and Medicaid.
Right. Like tax cuts for the rich.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh! I hope we get to watch Mick Mulvaney. Have you heard of him?
No.
So yesterday or 2 days ago, he's the one that basically authored the budget, and supposedly and Trump just kind of signed off on it or said like yes and no to the parts that Mick Mulvaney introduced. But he defends it, and we're in front of the press, and it's a completely philosophical budget because the people who are paying the taxes should be the ones who are reaping the benefits. Which,
That's what he says.
yeah, that's his complete argument. So when they say they're cutting $800 billion from Medicare, it's because Medicare goes to people who aren't paying taxes.
Yeah.
But that philosophy completely undermines any thought of cooperation, or completely undermines the purpose of insurance, right? Like insurance, you don't pay for what you get, you pay for what you hope you never have to
get.
Yeah. Anyways, also the fact that he thinks rich people don't receive benefits in the form of like healthcare, to me is crazy because protecting the institutions that allow for capital wealth is the biggest influence. Anyway, I'm getting a lot of feedback in my microphone. Are you?
It's because my mom's vacuuming right now.
Is that Mark?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, if you didn't have such a strong romance.
I can mute myself. I can mute myself and then watch more videos.
No, that's fine. Also, it's pretty laggy for me. Is it for you?
It's actually not at all.
Oh, wow.
It's like
That's
amazing.
cool.
Yeah.
Maybe the recording I'll see will be better.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The trial is going to continue, and especially since the Senate Intelligence Committee has now formally asked James Comey to testify in an open session. Ryan can insist that all the Trump news isn't keeping Congress from accomplishing.
So Comey, he's pled the fifth now. Is that right?
No, Comey wants to testify.
Oh, he does.
Yes, Michael Flynn has pled the fifth.
Okay, Flynn. Yeah. And Flynn's the guy who was on Trump's team.
Right.
And everything.
Yeah, national security advisor.
Misinformed Pence and all this stuff, or didn't fully disclose how much he was talking to the Russians. Is kind of the reason given for why he was fired.
Right. And I'm surprised that the Russian issue has taken over with, at least in the news cycle, with Michael Flynn, because what I think is the bigger issue, and I heard it even reported on big cable news, but yet it was like talked about once and then they kept moving with Russia, is his dealings with Turkey. So Russia, he didn't disclose that the Russia television network gave him 40 grand to give a speech. But he was an official foreign interest of Turkey. So Turkey paid him $500,000 to represent their interests in the States.
This is obviously before the election.
Right, so this was before the election. Now, in the transition period, so after Trump got elected, but before he was inaugurated, the Obama administration had plans involving Turkey and ISIS. And the execution of the plans was going to happen post-Trump inauguration. So the Obama administration thought it would be appropriate to have Trump's team sign off on it. So they gave it to Trump's team, and Michael Flynn, who was the acting or Trump's national security advisor at the time, prevented the plan from happening. And it just so happens that the plan would have been bad for Turkey's government, Turkey's president. So he's a paid foreign interest preventing the United States from acting against ISIS because it would hurt Turkey's government.
Well, that's what it looks. That's what it looks like.
Right.
But that's all
that's
legal. That's all legal, isn't it? So he can have been paid in the past, and he can have a new job, and then he can make a decision in his new job,
right?
Without evidence that like he was calling Turkey and saying, "What do you want me to say?"
Right, absolutely. So he could have ended his job working for Turkey, and then been employed by the Trump campaign and made a rational or non-biased decision, regardless of Turkey's interests.
Or a biased decision. Like he's allowed to be biased. He doesn't know that he's biased.
Oh yeah, unconscious.
Yeah,
but the conflict of interest, like there could be a legal conflict of interest in saying, I was paid $500,000 from Turkey, so my motives for defending Turkey might be compromised, right?
Well, and from a strategic perspective, Trump's team should have recognized that and said, well, maybe we'll exclude Flynn from the decision-making process here and kind of just like inform him of our decision if you didn't want to have these criticisms. But
right.
The thing that one of the things with Trump that I always like, I don't want to call him stupid because I think it takes a tremendous amount of effort to stay alive in the real estate industry as he has, and a tremendous amount of talent and skill to stay alive in the reality television state, like side of things. And it's like the guy's kind of been a pro in both of these realms, and while also just being a total buffoon in the international stage. And he won an election on one of the smallest budgets at a totally, new to the American political scheme, sort of style of style of platform and everything, or not platform, but campaign style.
I wouldn't guess you watched Jordan Peterson's interview where he said a similar thing.
Probably, but I agree. Yeah.
So in the interview, they were taking questions, and one of the questions to Peterson was, "What do you think Trump's IQ is?"
Oh yeah.
And
okay,
Peterson
so this is
said the same thing you did.
Yeah, and I just think it's a good point. Like all I get from that is that all I'm saying is that I'm really hesitant to call him stupid. I think he sees what's going on, and I think he may know what he's doing, or at least he's planning what he's doing. Those things may not be good. Those things may not be good things, but he just seems so there's just so much obfuscation in what he's doing, and I don't know if he's just trying to pay his bills with Russia, and then if he's going to resign, or if he's just trying to make his rich friends richer.
That Peterson said this, because I couldn't disagree more.
Really?
There's absolutely no way in my perspective that being a reality TV star and having hired the right real estate developers and lawyers makes you smart. I bet his IQ is 110, no, 1 or less.
I mean, he comes off that way, definitely.
I have zero reason to think he's smart. Having won an election does not make you smart. It makes Americans stupid. I have no reason to think he's smart. What has happened to him in his life? So Peterson used the same argument. He has a lot of money, and he was a reality TV star, and he won an election. Therefore, he must be smart. But to me, those don't at all equate to IQ. Those could easily happen to a narcissist like Trump.
Yeah, he right. Like maybe we're conflating intelligence with cockiness. And so he's just so cocky and confident that he just bowls over people with his like speed or arrogance or something. And well, fair enough. Like that's totally possible. I at the same time though, like he did hire the right people. And like, did he happen to hire the right people? Is 110 smart enough to realize that style of campaign is going to work and then to try it and to hire the people who are going to execute that campaign? And I mean, yeah, we don't know. Like, we can't know. How could we know?
Yeah.
Like, but okay, so one of the things where he like seems at least smart in. Okay, so how did you do that? Like, if I wanted to show
top corner, top right corner of your Chrome browser, all the options.
Oh, yeah.
Then go down to cast.
Oh, but I don't. Oh, look at that! That's so awesome. Did you try smooth
Whoa,
motion?
That's crazy.
What are you seeing?
I think so. Well, I see a list.
Okay, this is the executive order. Cool. Okay, so I was just gonna say, like, what if we looked at a Trump campaign debate? Are you seeing me search YouTube and everything? Okay, let's go to the lowlights. Let's see what the lowlights. So, are you able to watch this and hear the audio?
Yeah, I can hear it. That's crazy.
Okay.
You're the only person on the stage that's ever been fined for hiring people to work on your projects illegally. You hired some workers from Poland.
I'm the only one on the stage that's hired people. You haven't hired anybody.
Well, in fact, some of the people you hired. Well, but hold on.
I've hired tens of thousands of people over my job. You've hired
1,000 people
You've
from
had
another
nothing
company,
but problems
from another
with your
country.
credit cards, etc.
Let me
So
say. Let me finish the statement. Now, this is important.
You haven't hired one
He
person
hired
in your life.
workers from Poland, and he had to pay $1 million or so in a judgment for hiring.
That's wrong.
That's a fact.
Totally wrong.
Well, people can look it up. I'm sure people are Googling it right now. Look it up. Trump Polish workers. You'll see $1 million for hiring illegal workers on one of his projects. Yeah, he did.
Okay. He's a dumb narcissist, and that resonates with so many people because politics is incomprehensible to so many people.
Over my lifetime.
Is an option. It gives themselves a feeling of like, oh, okay, maybe I'm not so dumb, you know?
Yeah. Totally. Well, okay, and the other thing is he's like okay, where did he I don't know, the part where he's like wrong, 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 like just talking over him like a dick.
Okay, so the National Security Advisement Team has already leaked to the press that they specifically have shortened their briefings, like their paper reports to him.
Oh yeah.
Significantly. They have to do it in paragraphs now, not pages, and they said they have to mention his name frequently or else he'll lose interest.
Yeah, I heard the same thing. Sam Harris said the same. They increase the frequency of his name in paragraphs that they want to make sure he reads.
And also, there was a quote I saw recently that he said he gave his philosophy on exercise. He said he thought the human body is more like a battery. And So with a finite amount of energy to use. What is the excuse for being lazy?
Well, and of course, like the irony of him being tired, if you want to call it that. That's what he said. He was tired, so he canceled the rest of a day in Saudi Arabia or the next day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Something.
Oh,
all amidst the backdrop of him saying that Hillary Clinton doesn't have the stamina to do the president. I mean, that was just amazing. Yeah. Well, you may be right. I mean, he definitely. There's no denying that he comes off as a total bozo, and really, like, the best example is, as you're saying, that the NSA leaks people saying that they're shortening the reports. I don't know.
But I also have to allow the fact that maybe he's playing dumb on purpose, right?
Yeah, like isn't that? I mean, just that idea fits so well into like who he is, and also maybe leaves us some hope. I don't know. It's the only way to fit hope into the equation. That's for damn sure. Right. So Mike Pence, obviously, we're all hoping for Pence at this moment in time, right?
Oh, hell no.
Over Trump?
Who's hoping for Pence? No. This over Pence.
You take this over Pence. So giving away national security secrets. And
This is so the national security. The consequences of that national security leak are small, in my opinion. The
consequences are over as soon as we have a new president. So far, right? So as soon as we have a new president, then we know that new president is likely to be at least sober-minded enough to not give away those things, and so the trust is restored, at least for the most part, with Israel and other countries that are fearful of a similar thing.
I think the consequences of Trump's incompetencies are going to be less than the consequences of Pence's, frankly, competencies.
And is that because Pence is likely to defund a bunch of abortion clinics? And
Trump is basically a canvas for anybody to paint on, and he'll take the last person who the last argument he hears, basically. Like he's flip-flopped on every issue since he started running. So, but Pence is like a staunch conservative. He's the first major politician to attend the pro-life rally. He's said a lot of questionable things about gays and gay therapy and stuff. Like he would actually do, in my opinion, damage. I mean, although the budget that Trump's team is proposing is absolutely crazy too. So maybe it would be bad. I don't know.
Well, and the other thing is, like you say, if Trump's a canvas, Pence is already VP, so maybe how much of Pence's ideology is just already going through, like we're seeing here in the Medicare.
Yeah, that's true.
It's definitely not a socialist budget. Okay, so another question I had was what happened with North Korea? Because we were about to go into World War III, right? And I haven't heard anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Did
you hear that yesterday or a couple of days ago? He told the Philippine president where our subs are, where our nuclear subs are, and apparently they're close to North Korea.
Oh, okay.
He was just bragging. He was telling the Philippines how much horsepower they have.
He talks.
But this is also.
Go ahead.
This is also the issue surrounding him talking to the Philippine president and telling him how good he's been doing against the war on drugs in the Philippines. where the president in the Philippines has been advocating for vigilante groups to roam the streets and kill drug dealers at their will. And they've so far this year they've killed 7,000.
Oh man!
And Trump tells them, "Good job." The Philippine president has been reprimanded by the United Nations and all this shit, and Trump's telling him, "Good job." Like he has no clue.
So is what is it? The Philippines that's like totally under attack by a bunch of ISIS Goonies right now?
Yeah, well, there's ISIS.
They have a city
related
taken over
thing,
now, right?
Really? I don't know.
Philippines? There's somewhere they just declared martial law. Or maybe it's... Yeah, the Philippines, Rodrigo Duterte said the move might be needed to curb... Oh, he's called for martial law. I don't know if that means... Oh yeah, so he has martial law in the south of Philippines. So it's in the Mindanao group of islands. I suppose it's a subset of islands off the Philippines. And he's allowed to have martial law for 60 days according to the Constitution. And he has a set of islands. ISIS supporters have taken over the city. Yeah. So I posted this on Facebook. Went outside of the norm. Posted this article, or posted a statement saying I'm changing. So
are you showing me something? I still see the video.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to show it. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this article is a mirror article, but essentially it comes from a. It opens it up in a new tab. So I'm trying to say here, you can't blame Western civilization for what happens to us and how, you can't blame Western civilization's meddlings, if you want to call it that, in the Middle East when a bombing like this happens, which is a lot of times what happens. Like, I think it was Vice. As soon as the bombing happens, like within a day, Vice has an article about how don't let the Manchester bombing make you prejudice against Muslims or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, yeah, okay, for sure, don't become prejudiced about it. But, like, also, there are over 100 quotes in Islam about killing infidels and men who lay with other men and those who don't believe in Allah. Like, you have to swallow both pills, kind of. And so anyway, I just wanted to share this article, which is in Dabiq, which is ISIS's magazine.
I get it. I mean, nobody's arguing that you shouldn't be not like ISIS, right?
No. But they are arguing that Islam is a religion of peace.
Okay.
Which
yeah,
Is it? Anyway.
Okay, but what religion is?
Like Jainism, maybe.
Oh, I've never even heard of that. What is that?
It's a branch off of Hinduism, which is like basically
exactly.
all
So,
centered around non-violence, but it's not Hindu at all. But like the more extreme of a Jain you get, the slower you walk, so that you're more and more careful not to step on ants, for example. So like,
right. So are you going to hold like a Sodom and Gomorrah against Christians?
Oh no, and I don't hold this bombing against Muslims either. So anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, no. But like it's just, all I'm pointing out here is like you don't have to like argue about why you think ISIS did this. This article is called "Why We Hate You and Why We Fight You," and it's in an ISIS magazine. And there are 6 reasons why they hate us and why they fight us. One of which are invading our lands, and they fight to repel us and drive us out. But that's the 6th of 6. Well, I guess the 5th one is the drones too. So what? Well, there's that. But like, okay, so the first one is because we hate you first and foremost because you are disbelievers. Well, okay, well there you go. Okay, number 2, we hate you because your secular liberal societies permit the very things that Allah has prohibited, while banning things that He has permitted. Number 3, atheists, like in the case of Atheist Fringe, we hate you and wage war against you because you disbelieve in the existence of our Lord and Creator. We hate you for your crimes against Islam and your wars against, and then it's like, okay, so 4, 5, and 6 are sort of this, like, the liberal, if you want to call it that, North American narrative that you often get, and it's not like what everybody's saying, it's not, but and many of those people who even bring up that point aren't even saying that's the main thing. It's just like, my Facebook feed is full of like, don't be racist, don't be like, don't blame Muslims.
What does this have to do with Muslims? Like, it's you don't. I must be missing something. What's cool?
What does it have to do with Muslims? But ISIS claimed to be ISIS. It doesn't have anything to do with the Muslim down the street. Nothing about him. Like, has nothing to do with him.
So what's the problem?
The problem is when you so if you go on, like, okay, look, I should just like find that Vice article and show you, because
I'm assuming you're looking for the article.
Yeah. Yeah, they might have. Let's see. Anyway, just like, it's just, all I'm saying is like, it can be really, you can like find out and you can find a list of the reasons why ISIS makes attacks, and it isn't because of Islamophobia. That's the thesis.
Oh, okay. I think I might be starting to get it.
So ISIS isn't attacking us because
So
we're anti-Muslim or something. It isn't just like a guy, it isn't like a Muslim guy on the street and he's getting his groceries and a white lady like smirks at him or like a white, something like that, and then he goes and like built a bomb and bombs people. Like, well, that's not what ISIS is telling us why they do this, and they claim responsibility for it. So
okay, I didn't understand that anybody would have thought that was the cause of ISIS terrorist attacks.
Oh yeah, man! Like there's like those UC was it UC Davis where there was the stabbing or whatever, and they did an interview with students after, and it's all like, why do you think this happened? Like, well, there's a lot of like anti-Muslim talk around the school, so I think it was probably reactionary. It's like, okay, yeah, well, maybe, but like that's not what ISIS is saying. It's not what.
No, I've never even heard that reasoning.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. Yeah, fair enough. So anyway, it's just like an interesting article in ISIS's magazine.
Yeah.
So if you like want to find the reasons why, it's like, it's like a well-written article on why they want to kill us. Cool. Okay, so should I pause the recording and see if we have any decent anything?
Sure.
I think I can play the video in Chrome, can't I?
I don't know.
Because I could share the video.